Hello, welcome back. Today I want to talk about my Magic the Gathering cube. Specifically, I want to talk about the Selesnya draft archetype. Now, if you've been following my cube journey, you'll know that each color pairing has a different theme. But I have to be honest, Selesnya is kind of a mess right now. The original theme for Selesnya was Human Tribal. It's the theme it's had since the inception of this cube several years ago. It seemed like a slam dunk at first. You had cards like Champion of the Parish, who rewarded you for playing a lot of humans. It was a very aggressive deck. And then things like Kyler, Sigardian Emissary, helped scale your board up into a terrifying army. But the issue was that the payoff cards for humans were very narrow. If you weren't all in on humans, then no other faction wanted them. And so that's, in a singleton cube format, that's not really compelling. You don't want everyone to pass all of the human cards to the person drafting humans because nobody else wants them. You want as many cards as possible to have overlap between multiple draft archetypes. Eventually, most of these narrow human payoff cards got cut for broader, more flexible options. Right now, Kogla, the Titan Ape, is literally the only monocolored card left in the cube that actually cares about humans. And that's only in the sense that it needs humans in order to protect itself. The multicolor signpost cards aren't doing much better. Tauren's Fist of the Angels makes human tokens, but it doesn't actually reward you for having a board full of humans. Sigarda, Champion of Light, is solid, letting you potentially draw a human whenever she attacks, but she's really the only reason to commit to drafting Selesnya right now. Kylo used to be in the cube, as I mentioned before, and while he could snowball hard, he was just too dependent on having the perfect board. There were too many hoops to jump through to get it to work. So right now, Selesnya is all over the place. You've got Champion of Lamholt and Park Heights Maverick caring about counters. Adeline and Monastery Mentor want you to go wide with tokens, and then there's aggressive one-drops like Student of Warfare and Recruitment Officer. It's like the deck is trying to be everything, aggro, mid-range, and it ends up being a master at nothing. The human cards have natural overlapping synergy with aggro, tokens, and counters themes, but you have more reason to run those cards and those archetypes rather than trying to make humans viable in its current state. And because the synergy is so shallow, if you miss out on drafting Sigarda, you're not really incentivized to draft green and white at all. And Sigarda is only one card in a 540 card cube. So how do I fix it? I've been thinking about this a lot for a while now. I've thought about leaning harder into classic Selesnya themes, like going wide with tokens or going tall with +1 counters. But here's the catch. In my cube, Orzhov already fills the niche of tokens with its aristocrat strategy, and Simic is handling the +1 counters theme. Spoilers for the next video, by the way. Another idea I had was to pivot Selesnya toward an Auras or an Enchantress style draft archetype. And that could work if I shift Gruul away from Auras and back towards its old landfall identity. That would free up the enchantment space for green-white, which has strong historical support in that area. Now, it's not all bad. White still has an excellent curve of aggressive creatures and utility. Esper Sentinel, Luminarch Aspirant, and Adeline Resplendent Cathar. They all do work. And green contributes solid mid-range value, with Tireless Tracker, Eternal Witness, and Augur of Autumn. But there's no glue holding it all together. No compelling synergy that makes you say, yes, I want to draft Selesnya humans. So, that's unfortunately where Selesnya sits right now. It's undercooked, underwhelming, and in need of some real identity work. If you have any ideas for how to breathe life back into this archetype, please let me know in the comments. And stay tuned, because the next time we meet, we'll be talking about Simic, and spoiler alert, I'm not too impressed with how that one's shaping out either. But I've said that before. Green is not my forte, and so I really find myself floundering to make really any green faction work in my cube to the point where I'm happy about it. So that's my video on how not to build a cube draft archetype. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. The original theme for Selesnya